Welcome back, everybody. It's time for Motherhood. It is so a Monday. Good grief. All right, and today we have Dominic Landry and Vernetta Stewart here to help us, to help us right here on the First Coast with those who are still looking to start a family, because I know there are quite a few people out there, and these are the folks to help. Good to see you again, ladies.
Always happy to be here.
Yeah, and you're here not cooking this time, so welcome.
Not cooking this time. Thank you.
Okay, so we're talking about different pathways to building families today, if I could get the intro out. So why is this an important topic?
Yeah, so I think a lot of times this is kind of one of the, also, I think I've been on here before talking about kind of like the unspoken things and truths of motherhood. And I feel like so often people think like you want to have a baby and you can just do it. It's so easy, and it's just not that easy for all families.
No, it wasn't easy for us. It's not easy for a lot of families.
Right, and so, but then there's also kind of like a hidden like shame along with it, that for women especially, where it's like you feel like I was born on some level to like be able to create these humans, and then I can't. And so that we don't even have those conversations. And so we're just here to kind of just have the conversation and just share some fun work we're doing behind the scenes.
That's great, because you should not be stigmatized right that, right?
Absolutely.
You shouldn't be made to feel that way. That isn't helpful for anyone.
Right.
Right? Okay, so Vernetta, what inspired you to start Footprints of Angels? And what is Footprints of Angels?
So Footprints of Angels, we're a nonprofit that support women that are impacted by infertility. Okay. So it kind of came from, I started building a career, and I did not try to become a mom till later in life, right? Yeah. And like Dominique said, it seems very easy, but then when you think it's going to be quick, it wasn't that for me. Right. So I said, okay, what do I do? It has to be other women who battle with this or deal with this. And then I met someone else, very similar story to me, and so she dealt with it as well, and we started talking, and it's like, how do we help? And so that's where it came from.
I like that. So, all right, so so say folks don't really realize how expensive that the journey can be for fertility, right? It's incredible. Yes. So talk to us about some of the obstacles that people face and how you guys help with that. So
a lot of times insurance does not cover it. I know there's been a lot of legislative going on lately about how to get insurance to cover it, because then there's the insurance piece, there's medication piece, there's all these added costs, and so a lot of times people don't have that. So it's like, how can we support them with that cost, but not just the financial piece? How do we support them mentally so that they're whole? Because sometimes, even though you go through a journey, you still may not become a parent, right? So you still need a piece of how do I balance this, or how do I bounce back from this? I would say.
And then those expectations, and maybe you don't actually meet them. That is something that we don't really talk about, right? Like, not every journey is concluded with conception, right?
A baby.
Right. Yes. Okay. So who is eligible?
So everyone is eligible. We're looking for couples, single women. We don't discriminate. We put out our scholarship, and the scholarship is based on how much money we raise. Depends on how much we can give out. We also try to do it in October, because October is Pregnancy and Infant Awareness Loss Month. I always say it wrong. In October. So we try to make sure that we're able to do that in the month of October, and we will put the grant or scholarship information out, and then you can apply for it, and then we have a review, and we have doctors. I am not a doctor by any stretch of the imagination, so we have doctors and we have people that are behind the scenes in the fight for fertility, looking at it to see, who's awarded this grant. So I'm not making the decision myself.
Okay. But also, I would say it's not just for people that are struggling like with IVF. I think like it's adoption as well. Yes. Is that correct? So, because I remember I had a friend who had to like raise money and do fundraisers to help her on her adoption journey, because that ended up being so expensive as well. Right. And so it is for both, like people infertility, trying to do it that way, adoption and surrogacy, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so we have about 30 seconds left. So what do you hope that folks come away with this conversation today?
That they're not alone, that there's options for support, that there are people that want to help you, and again, don't do it alone. Like, we are here.
Yes, and there are other resources. There's a lot of resources. I think when I first started Footprints of Angels some years ago, it wasn't that many resources, but there are other organizations out there that support as well. So there is help and resources.
That's fantastic. Ladies, you're doing a great job. Dominic, thank you for bringing it. This is fantastic. I'll tell you what, it can be a daunting journey, right?
Absolutely.
But for those who walk away with a child at the end of it, it is rewarding beyond belief.
Yes.
Right? It is worth, the juice is worth the squeeze.
Yes, it is. That's correct.
The website is right there on the screen, guys. If you guys want to learn more, stick around. We'll be right back after the break.